Hi, this is Dan Fogler, Jacob Kowalski. I am at FrConventions. This is a long story. So first was I had an audition in New York, and it went really well. And then I was like, all right, that went well. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then I got called back again a couple months later, came to LA and auditioned again. And they felt good about it. And I had this like costume that I had this hat that I was wearing. It was like this patchwork hat. I was like, yes, this is my Jacob hat, and I would wear this hat. So then months passed, and they were auditioning all these people that usually get the part at that moment in my life, and I was like, okay, they're gonna get it. So I forgot about it. And they called me back for a screen test. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a screen test. So I come in, and I got my hat. And I put my hat on, and there's Eddie Redmayne. And we're doing the audition. And then David Yates is off to the side. He says, why don't you try it without the hat? And I go, what? Without my hat? How is that possible? And I took the hat down, and I was like, can I just hold my hat down here? And he was like, yes. So then it was just like for luck, just holding this hat. And then again, they were like, okay, we're gonna audition everybody else in the world, and you know, goodbye and good luck, and if anything happens, we'll let you know. So it was totally out of my mind. And then I went on an audition, and then I went to several auditions, and I was like, okay, that's the last time I'm gonna hear about that. And I get to New York Comic-Con, I'm just like, wow, I'm only here selling my comic books. Like, I didn't really have much going on. And then I got a call from my agent, and they were like, where are you right now? And I was like, I'm at Comic-Con. And then they said, well, guess what? Comic-Con's gonna be a lot different next year, you know? And then I just started floating, and then like throwing comics at people and crying. People caught my tears. It was really fun. And they dipped them in chocolate, and they sell the tears now. Chocolate tears. Yeah, it was all on, a lot of it was on the page there, that Jacob was this guy with just a lot of heart, and he's like an archetypical character. So when you see him with Newt, it's kind of like Sherlock and Watson, or like Abbott and Costello, or like Laurel and Hardy, that kind of relationship. And so I drew a lot from the black and white silent movies, Chaplin, stuff like that. Try to infuse a lot of that, slapstick, old school comedy in there. And I think it worked nicely. It definitely fit the period. Those are some of my favorite scenes where Newt and I are chasing after the Niffler. And the Niffler is like Harpo Marx. Like, he doesn't say anything, but he's hysterical. Just standing there frozen with like jewels draped all over him, like, hi. It's such these hysterical moments. And so it was great to pay homage to all that old school comedy. Yeah, and then I always try to imbue comedy into whatever I'm doing. Just the idea of someone with my girth trying to get into a suitcase, it's funny. So there was a lot of stuff like that laid out there. And it was amazing being on set. New York City, they basically rebuilt New York in the 20s at Leavesden. And then for the second movie, it was, they built Paris. And so I love that. I love being on set, and then I take my break, and I have a sandwich in my hand, and I go and I'd stand on this line, and I'd look one way and I'd be like, I'm having lunch in New York, and now I'm having lunch in Paris. And I'm having lunch in New York. It's crazy. It's like, you look this way, it's Paris, you look that way, it's New York. So it was like, kind of like a time machine. It's cool. He came to it with a similar feeling, you know. He definitely wanted to, like the way that Newt walks with the turned out walk. It's very Chaplin. So he and I were very much on the same page when it came to that. He's more Buster Keaton-y, I guess. But yeah, it was, the chemistry was there, like right from that screen test when I was holding my hat below screen. You can tell that there was already a good balance there. Oh gosh, yes, I love how they get together, and it wouldn't be as sweet at the end that they get together if they didn't have that whole rocky journey. And yeah, Alison's fantastic. Chemistry there was excellent as well. Some of my favorite scenes. And that also too is like an archetypical thing where it's like, you see us together and you think, kind of like from Guys and Dolls, like Nathan and Adelaide. You know, it's reminiscent of these characters that we already love, so you're rooting for them. Well, the way it was presented to us was that we may get to them eventually. So that's nice. Could be, you know, a couple of years from now, could be 20 years, but it's nice to have that to look forward to. Yeah, it's always really amazing to see that the final layer of the completed look of the film. Because like you're saying, when you're there, you don't have, you basically have half of what's there. You have half a building, and then the rest is, you know, green screen, and maybe the creatures, the most you would have is kind of like a skeletal puppet, which was cool because you have all these puppeteers moving the creature and like making weird animal sounds, and so there's a lot of, you know, theatrics that go into it, and it helps if you come from a theater background. You gotta imagine all this stuff, and I love that, especially for the first movie, because before that, my experience with green screen was you have to look right here at this X or else it's not going to look right. And David Yates was like, you know what? The technology is such that you can look wherever you want and we'll make it work, you know? So it was so freeing. So to see that I was imagining, you know, the Murtlap jumping at me and biting my neck or whatever, and all of that comedy that I laid on top of it, and they just came in later and painted the Murtlap in, and it's so cool. I love that whole process, and I love that you're not having to rely on all the heavy technical. They really are relying on you to bring a lot of the creative. Oh, well, this convention is lovely. We're in Paris. Paris is always beautiful. And when you get us all together, it's really nice. You see the mixing of the worlds, you know, and there's that camaraderie. It's like we're all bonded forever because of this thing, and so I love that this Muggle could go up to Draco Malfoy and, you know, give him a hug, and it's cool that we get to all hang out together like this, and the fans are so appreciative. They're really excited for this. So yeah, this was lovely.